He might not be from Krypton, but he's heads above the rest. His knowledge can't be questioned. You can put it to the test. So if you want to hear the truth and have nowhere else to go, I'll give you the solution. Just tune into his show and just kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod.
And welcome everybody back to the Phantom Zone. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in all of YouTube entertainment today. And I'm here with the most cynical cyber dog across YouTube today. I felt like to have the worst of lists, and I think Pop Culture PB might be sleeping in the cave, but I felt like I needed some people who really hated some of the stuff that came out.
I didn't even watch some of the stuff that came out.
Like, I know you'll know a couple of them. Some of them you might not know. And that's the point. These are movies that are truly bad. Now, to be fair, because I know one or two of these picks is going to piss some people off. To be fair, the ones at the top of my list are bearable. Like, if they're playing in the background, I could watch them again. Or they're just an objectively bad film.
You're gonna label the ones the ones that you could never watch again.
Yes, but the top five or the top five, like the last five, those are ones you could put a fucking gun to my head. I will never watch that movie again. You can threaten a family member's life, and I'm just gonna have to see them in the next world because I'd much rather that than fucking watch this movie again. Like, they're bad. Like, I will never. I've watched it once. I will never fucking do it again. Like, for you, Husky, is that how you feel like you would do, like, your list? Like, when you rate something, you'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go with like I'll never fucking watch this again."
Yeah,
because movies are subjective. Like, I'm sure there's.
I was telling Zod before the stream. There's Halo 5. I never want to play through that campaign again.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example.
And I've played the other campaigns of the other Halo games several times. Even Halo 6
will not pick up
has really long ass levels, which kind of discouraged me from it. But yeah, never really 5 again. And unless I'm trying to break the game with some people.
And to help ease us through this, I'm eating pizza rolls and drinking some cherry Coke because I'm going to be pissed off thinking about these movies again. So let me go down and talk to everybody in the chat, and then we'll get started. I'm going to do my honorable mentions first, which are movies that almost made my list, but had one or two things that make it so that they're not quite as terrible, but they're still not very good movies that I'd ever recommend to anybody. It's just I could tolerate them, and I didn't think they were as bad as people made them out to be. So, yeah, that's what I was telling my girl.
See, I didn't watch this one, but a reason why I did this joke is because I still think the second Space Jam movie was unnecessary, especially when they decided, oh, hey, we're going to have LeBron James.
Oh, don't worry. That's on my list. I mean,
I know it's on your list. You told me it was on your list.
Space Jam's on my list. Jenny, what's up, Jenny? The beautiful Jenny Godden is in here. South Florida Drifter says, in need of entertainment, this better be good. Ooh, I've got a lot to live up to. Billie Jean, hey. Geekicide Tendencies, my favorite. I know he's going to disagree with at least one of my picks on this list. Christine, how are you? Lemon Pie, my favorite pie. Jenny Creek, and I believe that's it for right now. We got 10 people watching. Welcome. Thank you for joining me.
The two that I know for sure on this list is Space Jam 2 and Eternals because you talked about it a week or two ago.
Like, I knew you could pick out some of mine. So
where are they going to place That's
Who
what we're
knows?
gonna find that together. Here, come join us on our stupid fucking journey.
So here are some movies that didn't make my list, but were damn close. The first one is The Marksman. I'm a huge Liam Neeson fan, so this movie pained me with how terrible it was. And the thing that sucks about this movie is it had potential to be good, and it just falls apart at the end of the film. And that's why it didn't go on my list, because there is a lot of it I could watch, but then I'd have to turn it off at the end because I get so pissed off because they make some very poor choices. And that's really funny because
Oh,
it takes it from being a good movie to a bad movie from like 0 to 30. It was bad. I Care a Lot. I Care a Lot is a fucking overrated movie. This movie, and I watched it with Bitchy. We did not like this fucking movie till the ending. The end literally saves this movie, and this is from a year ago, so I'm going to spoil the shit out of it. But I Care a Lot, when that bitch dies, best part of the movie. Like, that brought it up to where I could watch it again. But quite honestly, that movie was so fucking overrated, and everybody's saying it was brilliant or whatever. No, it was a fucking chore to get through. She is the most insufferable character I think that has ever been made, and I wouldn't watch it again because it was just so hard to get through. Jenny Craig said, "I saw a couple of movies last year. Dune was awesome. The Many Saints of New York sucked. Yes, that was also on my list. It disappointed me as a Sopranos fan. DJH Record Hound, what's up? And Comics Chat, Danny, one of my favorite. Here for my top 10 worst. So my honorable mentions are The Marksman, I Care a Lot, Coming to America. They did Eddie Murphy dirty. Coming to America, and I mean to America, should never have been made. It was a
so wait, did
terrible,
Eddie Murphy
terrible
not
movie.
even write that movie?
He should not have acted in it. Arsenio Hall was wasted. The jokes weren't funny.
No, I'm saying,
Uh,
did Eddie Murphy write that movie,
he had
or did
some.
somebody write it and
No,
give
someone else
him?
wrote it. He just
No
had a
wonder it
lot of
sucked,
input.
because he was the one that wrote the original one, start to finish.
Yeah, he had some creative input, but it was different writers, and you can tell. They totally assassinate Eddie Murphy's character in the film. They make him like a douchebag. It's terrible. It's a terrible fucking movie. I'd never watch
Because
again.
he's supposed to
Army
be
of the
kind of like
Dead.
a nice
Um,
guy.
Army of the Dead. Also on my honorable mentions. It doesn't make top 10 worse because I could still watch it, but it's way too long and way too self-indulgent. Zack Snyder, stop making fucking 3-hour movies, okay,
Well, what
buddy?
happened to you liking that movie?
That's why it's not on my top 10 worst, but it is mentioned as it's not very good. A lot of people, they're either gonna like it or they're not. Actually, Wrath of Man, yes, I did see that, and it was on my best list, but then I kind of took it off because other stuff beat it. But yeah, I love The Wrath of Man. It was a great movie, very underrated. Um, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. I wish the devil had not influenced me to watch that movie. It was uh, good in the beginning, and then it's a fucking court trial. Um, when I go to see a Conjuring movie, I do not give a shit about a court trial. Like, I understand what they were doing with it, but it really fucking
I mean,
destroyed
that is what
that
the
movie.
story actually is about.
Yeah,
But they there could have been a little bit more they could have focused on
yeah,
with
yeah.
those two.
It was not good.
Well,
Uh,
we it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. But I think the main reason why it did not do well is because the last two Conjuring movies were directed by James Wan.
And if I remember correctly, this one was not either.
No,
No, James Wan had nothing to do with this. Bring Wan back. The Conjuring
yeah,
franchise is going downhill. You need the guy who fucking created it. This movie is fucking terrible. Don't waste your time. If you're a Conjuring fan, it'll piss you off. It pissed me off as much as The Nun. Um, the next one, In the Heights, came really close. Another fucking terrible musical. Hollywood, stop doing fucking diverse musicals. You can't do them. You suck. They got the fucking culture wrong. in New York, which I picked out what they fucking fucked up on. They did not even have the boroughs right. Nobody did their research. It was very offensive as someone who is Puerto Rican. I was very fucking offended at a lot of parts in this movie. The dress and the stuff that they ate, some of the language and the dialect was off. It was not well researched. It was clearly just to grab for cultural points, and it was fucking despicable. And quite honestly, I walked out of this movie pissed off. Like, I'm not one of those people who say, "Oh, you appropriate." They appropriated the shit out of a lot of things from New York, and it really pissed me off on the level of West Side Story. Like, I was angry coming out of that movie. It was fucking terrible, and it deserved a bomb. This one was fucking close, so close, but the movies I have on are twice as worse. So, man, it was trash. It was fucking trash. Yeah, WW84 was last year, so that's why it's not on this year's list. But yeah,
Oh,
comics
yeah,
chat.
that's right.
I
Oh,
would have
yeah,
put
yeah.
Wonder Woman on there.
Oh, damn
Um,
it. Yeah.
F F9. Look, I am a show for Fast and Furious, but spoiler alert, they go to fucking space. I can't objectively ever recommend this movie to anyone. I love it because I love stupid stuff like that. And I jokingly said, remember when I told you guys, I said if Fast and Furious goes to space, it'll be my favorite movie? They fucking did it. They fucking went to space. So I just
Zad is obligated to love the movie.
so I'm obligated to love this one. And I do. I'll see you later, comics chat.
Have a good one.
But F9 can never be a really good movie for me and be on a good movie list because objectively the stunts are all like crazy and out of control. The action was very not as good as the other ones. So it kind of took away from me, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst. Another honorable mention on here was Kate. Kate is a fucking terrible movie. Netflix, stop making terrible movies. It's only not on here because I don't count Netflix as theater
terrible
releases.
movies.
Don't Breathe 2. Don't ever take the most heinous killer in a movie and try to make them a good guy. I'm sorry. This movie tries to make one of the most vicious serial killers a nice guy, and it doesn't work because he used a baser on someone. You can't redeem someone like that. So yeah. Cry Macho. I'm sad to say Clint Eastwood made a dud. Cry Macho is not a very good movie. It's very slow, and I mean like painfully fall to sleep slow. It's and the end isn't worth what you have to wait through to get through it. So God is Not Dead. They should have stopped at one. We'll move along. Encanto. Encanto is a fucking stupid movie, and I know what people are going to say. Oh, Zod, it's a cartoon, blah, blah, blah. It's a fucking terrible. And they lean way too much into cultural stuff that even my daughter said to me that she didn't understand what the point of the story is, and you won't unless you have that kind of background and heritage. And I hate when films exclude members of their audience for some kind of cultural push. I think
Okay, I have a question though. Did you you've watched the movie Coco, right?
Yeah.
You like that movie?
She loved that movie. I was kind of
see the one. It's proof though. It was like you can still do a good movie with people that don't know about that stuff.
Exactly.
And it was very easy to explain.
Exactly. Thank you. There is a right way to make these cultural movies and then a wrong way. And Hollywood in 2021, boy, did they make some shitters. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. The only reason why this didn't make it into my top 10 because I gave them points for at least fucking following the game. The problem
I
is
thought
it
you
takes.
didn't put it in your top 10 because most of those Resident Evil movies are garbage.
Yeah, and this one is garbage too, but at least they try. There's the mansion, there's the police station. The big problem is Leon Kennedy doesn't look like Leon Kennedy or act like him, and the special effects are fucking atrocious. This literally looks like a straight sci-fi movie. So, and yeah, so that's it for my movies that are honorable mentions. They came this close to making it into my top 10 worst, but were saved by a slice of something I saw where I'd be like, I'd watch it again. So now,
A slice of barf.
number 10 on my top 10 worst movies of 2021 was The Matrix Resurrections. Sorry to people who like this. I've
Oh
watched
man, that means there's movies that are worse than this.
I watched this movie 3 times to try to give it a fair shake, and I get what they were going for, but I think it's poorly delivered. I think that the acting is decent, but it's just really a terrible retrend of everything we've already seen. I get the concept. I know there's people out there saying about, yeah, I get it. I get what they were going for, but I think this is how you do poor meta versus good meta. Um, which like rewatching Scream franchise to get ready for Scream 5, I see the differences. And the problem with this movie is it's too blunt and it's almost spiteful to the studio rather than being out of a place of wanting to make a good movie. And I think that they put the commentary above trying to make a good film. The fight
Oh, so you're
scenes
saying
weren't
it's almost like
very.
they kind of made this to tell the studio to F off because they
Yeah,
just
that's what
wanted
it felt like.
that
This
Warner
movie,
Brothers just wanted to make money.
it felt like Warner Bros. Wanted to make money, and this movie was giving them a middle finger. And look, I'm not against that, but I also feel disrespected as somebody who had a lot of high hopes. And it did not help that No Way Home was released before this movie that
It
had
just didn't help a lot
great.
of movies in the past month.
Yeah, it's like when you do the Coke test. I'm drinking cherry Coke, by the way. And you go, okay, what does nostalgia good and what does nostalgia bad? Unfortunately, you're going to have these two compared to each other because of the fact that the studios thought it was a good idea to release them next to each other. And I just think it was a terrible business decision. And I really did not like it. So my number 10 is The Matrix Resurrections or Regurgitation. Now, number 9, this is one that I hated so much, you guys never even heard me talk about.
Ooh,
This
mystery
movie,
one.
if there wasn't so many other terrible movies, this movie would be higher up. Number 9, The Forever Purge. This movie is so fucking
Oh,
offensive.
I forgot
I
that
can't.
movie came out. Those movies have been cheating shit lately, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly.
And,
This
and
movie,
here's my thing. I didn't watch it, but every time I saw the ad for that, I'm like, isn't that just anarchy?
this movie, this movie makes such a blatantly, overtly obvious political statement. And it really, by the end of the movie, I felt insulted being in the theater, like the movie was directly giving me the middle finger. It is a very tactless movie. Um, it portrays a lot of individuals as terrible people, and it doesn't say that it's this certain group, but it generalizes a demographic in particular. And this movie makes you feel like a piece of shit walking out of it, and it has nothing to say. The commentary is hollow and it's empty. The violence and the kills weren't even that great. So I couldn't even say, oh, well, the movie fucking sucked, but the kills were awesome. The kills were very fucking generic. After Halloween kills, man, you got to bring your fucking game to an 11. And this movie was not even remotely close to that. It was fucking insulting. I hated it. This movie is a fucking disgrace to the other Purge movies. And I don't like Election Day or the first Purge, but this fucking movie was terrible. It was bad. The dialogue was bad. The writing was bad. The fucking camera work was bad. The kills were bad. The actors were bad. The fucking premise and message was bad. This fucking movie, I walked out and I almost got a refund and I got in for fucking free. It was bad. It's a bad fucking. If you see this
that's
and you
what I
go,
love
"Oh,
about
Forever
Zod
Purge," it's on
working in the
TV.
cinema.
Oh my God! If you see this movie one day, like you have your Netflix or something, and you go, "Oh, Forever Purge, it's the new one. It's finally out." Don't waste your time. It's a waste of your fucking time, brain cells. It's a fucking terrible movie. Fuck the Purge. Please, please, for the love of God, kill this fucking franchise. It's dead. It's done. Let it fucking die. The fucking
It
show
reminds me
is
of the
fucking stupid.
Paranormal Activity movies, how they wouldn't let those
No,
die for the
because
longest
the
time.
next of kin was actually good. I would take 50 fucking Paranormal Activity reboots and sequels before I want to ever sit through another fucking Purge movie. I'm seriously done.
Didn't they also hit Blair Witch Project? Kept
I would
going with those until that one
watch
killed.
another fucking Blair Witch. I'd watch fucking 3 of them before I'd ever watch another one of these shits. Like after this movie, I'm legitly done with this franchise. Like they are fucking pieces of shit. These writers need to be fucking hung for their fucking rude commentary that they made. It's a fucking grossly offensive movie. I fucking hated it, and I really hope the fucking series dies. So, yeah, sorry. That movie really pissed me off. Like I said, most of these movies on this list, like I said, they downright either pissed me off or I just never watch them again. So, thank you. Yeah, I agree with you, Senate. So number 8,
Senate,
Chaos.
did you get banned on Discord again? Because I always say that if his account gets disconnected from Discord, from his Discord server.
So let me ask you if you've heard of this, Cyber Husky. My number 7 is Chaos Walking. You hear of this movie?
Sounds familiar. I'm not sure.
Chaos
though.
Walking stars Tom Holland and Ridley Scott from the new prequels, and Mads Mikkelsen. This movie was in production hell for like 3 years. This movie is so fucking bad. Chaos
Some
Walking.
things need to stay in production. Hell's like, I don't need to name it. I don't need to name it.
Honestly, to be honest with you, it deserves to be on this list, but because it's bad. But I will give the movie credit. This movie is so fucking bad that I'd actually watch it again to mock it. This is a bad movie. The shit in this movie does not make sense. And like I read the books and I know the story. This movie tries to do like 2 books in one movie. It does not work. Ridley Scott is fucking terrible in this movie. Tom Holland looks like he was contractually obligated to be in this movie. This poor son of a bitch tries. And they have no fucking chemistry whatsoever. And they're trying to force chemistry that is not there. Like clearly, like when she kisses him, it feels like she's raping him. That's how bad their chemistry is. I'm like, no, he didn't consent. No, Jenny, not everything with Matt sucks. Matt Mikkelsen is a good actor. He's done a lot of good movies, but lately he's been in a lot of bad ones. And this movie, Matt Mikkelsen is actually probably the best part of this movie, to be quite honest with you. He plays a religious zealot, but yeah, it's called Chaos Walks. This movie, if you want to see, let me tell you this, look. This is the kind of movie where I could recommend to you if you're drunk. Get a bunch of friends together, get fucked up, and put this movie in. You'll have a fucking blast. This movie is the kind of movie that is only good if you're really fucking just shit-faced drunk. or if you have a group of people to mock it. Like, you could easily pick out so much fucking things that's wrong with this movie. And it shows that this movie was never supposed to be made. It is a terrible movie, but it's one of the few movies on this list where it's so bad you could actually make it fun by drinking a hell of a lot. So that is my number 7, or I'm sorry, number 8, Chaos Walking. Number 8. All right, so my number 7 on the list, you guys knew it was going to be on here. My number 7, and the only reason why it's number 7 is because there's still some things that make this a movie, is fucking West Side Story. Okay, let me tell you about my fucking experience with West Side Story. I did not know about the article that came out that the Spanish-speaking parts were not going to be subtitled. So I walked into this movie and I went with my mom. And my mom and me got extremely pissed because while my mom speaks fluid Spanish, she gets pissed off when she has to translate and watch a movie. Oh, Husky did say he may have to go into the shadow. So we went to see this movie, and yeah, it was a fucking terrible experience. The songs, my other issue with this is the songs are modernized and they don't use the original music. You guys don't know, but I do appreciate certain musicals. I love Chicago. I love Burlesque. I like Moulin Rouge, Sound of Music, West Side Story, Grease, all of those. So I'm a bit of a music fan. And they remix and change a lot of the original tunes. I did not like what they did with it. Some of it is original. Some of it is slightly altered. I know the difference because I'm a huge West Side Story fan. This was a giant disappointment. I am ashamed of Steven Spielberg. The only reason why it's not higher up is because it does have amazing camera work. It does have decent choreography. And it is competently shot. So I gave this movie a bit of a pass because originally it was going to be my number 1, but I'm like, nah, it's not as bad as that. So it gets my number 7, but it's not as bad. Now, number 6. Number 6 on my list. You've probably never heard of it because I am the only one, I'm fairly sure, who even saw this fucking movie. And I did not see it in theaters, thank God. I borrowed it from a Russian cousin, as PB would say. Gully. Now, know what you guys are thinking. If you're Amber Heard, if you know Amber Heard, yeah, this is that Amber Heard-led movie. Gully is a fucking terrible, terrible film. Amber Heard is a horrible lead. This movie is grossly offensive, and I'm not a representative of the black community, but this movie makes the black community look like shit. And for me, being the white-ass dude that I am to say that, this movie is bad. This movie is horribly offensive. It is horribly gross. And I gotta say, after seeing this movie, I felt dirty. I felt like I needed to take a shower. Because this movie is so fucking racist. And I'm calling this out. Like, this is me. Like, I never in a review call out, like, racism. This movie is fucking offensively racist. Like, the whole concept is very fucking offensive. This movie was so bad, it did not, I don't believe, make any kind of box office. Cement Shoes, it's called Gully. Let me spell it out for you so you could go check it out. It is a very, very, very terrible movie. It portrayed, so the basic premise of this movie is Amber Heard is in it as, I want to say she's a friend or girlfriend to one of these guys, and they go on a killing spree because their lives are so hard. And so they justify this killing spree by the fact that they've had a rough life. That's the whole premise of the movie. And they brutally, I mean brutally, kill people. They kill black people, they kill white people. There's no real clear motive to why they're doing it. And, no one's going to see this. So basically, they all get killed. It's a fucking terrible movie. I can't believe I just had to see. It's one of those things where, like, you're watching a train wreck, but you have to know how it ends. I will never fucking see this movie again. It was a colossal waste of my fucking time. This movie is bad. It is fucking terrible. You can watch it out of curiosity, but I'll tell you, you're going to waste like an hour and a half of your life. So avoid this movie like herpes. It's bad. It's terrible. Fuck this movie. And please, for the love of God, stop giving Amber Heard roles. She can't fucking act. Okay? She's not even B-list at this point. Her fucking performance in this movie is so fucking over the top. And by over the top, I mean, like, she isn't underacting in this. She is way overacting. It is a fucking atrocious movie and deserves to be on my top 10 worst. And I'm probably the only fucking stupid idiot who saw this movie. So congratulations. You made it to 6. And the only reason why she's not high enough is because the movies got up above her slightly worse, at least to me. So fuck her. Fuck that movie. God, I hope they stop giving her parts. My next movie, and I don't care who the biggest Marvel fan is. I think we can universally agree this is a bad movie. The Eternals. Fuck me, The Eternals. The Eternals is such a fucking boring movie. This is a movie I've only seen once, and I promise you, I will never fucking watch it again. And I know what people are going to say. Well, you only saw it once. How can you judge it? I drank a shitload of Red Bull to stay awake so that I would not have to watch this piece of shit over again. The Eternals is a bad movie. I don't give a fuck what you're telling me, guys. This is a fucking bad movie. Marvel did a bad fucking movie. They're capable of doing it. They did it. It's the fucking Eternals. The Eternals is a fucking atrocious movie. The fight scenes are boring. The chemistry is not there. There's too many fucking characters. It's 2.5 hours of basically fucking nothing. It was a giant colossal waste of my fucking time. And the only reason why I gave this piece of shit my time was because Shang-Chi was actually decent and I liked it. So I thought, fuck it. Maybe the Eternals is just being poorly reviewed. No, it sucks. Don't waste your time. I wasted time I will never fucking ever get back. I am so fucking angry with this movie. I don't care. No one can convince me The Eternals is a good film. It's fucking terrible. Bury it. Fucking throw it in the ground. Fucking put it in the hole. Bury that shit and pretend it never happened. This movie is terrible. Please do not make any more stories with them. Please. This movie is the worst fucking Marvel movie ever. I would watch Thor in the Dark World 100 fucking times before I ever watched The Eternals again. I've literally watched Thor the Dark World, which up to this point was considered by most fans a terrible movie. I've watched that movie multiple times because there's at least shit in there that I can like Loki and Thor bonding and Thor's mother dies. There's important shit in that. The Eternals has nothing. It doesn't set up shit. It doesn't have shit to do with anything going on. There's no fucking point. Zoe Chow or whatever the fuck your name is, you're a great fucking independent movie writer, but don't write Marvel. You have no fucking clue what you're doing. Just stop, please. Don't do anything in this universe. Marvel, I am fucking begging you. Please do not ever make a sequel to this movie. Never, ever, ever. You fucking wasted Salma Hayek. You fucking wasted Angelina Jolie. Why? Why did you bring them in? What was the fucking point? Can anybody tell me? Please tell me what the fuck the point was bringing them in if you use them for literally 5 fucking seconds of the movie. Salma Hayek is in it. I clocked it 5 minutes. 5 fucking minutes. Hey, cousin Polly, what's up? Zod, you know me, I will rant about the bitch being trash. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I had to rant. Eternals was close to being my number 1 worst movie, but there is a last of movie worse than that. Yes, I've seen Samurai Cop. I would watch that 100 fucking times over The Eternals. The Eternals is terrible. I swear to God. Every movie in this top 5 I would only ever watch once, and that was enough. And this is one of those movies. I never need to see this again. When I go to Disney, if I see it on the fucking menu, I get pissed off and I scroll angrily past it. This movie offended me at how fucking bad this movie was. There was no excuse. The budget and the shots and shit are beautiful. But the movie is nothing. It has nothing. It has nothing to say. It's empty, fucking depressing, soulless void of a film. I fucking hate it. And this has nothing to do with hating Marvel movies or whatever. This has to do with this movie is garbage. It is boring. It is a flop. They should have never fucking put this out. Just stuck with Shang-Chi. That was, my God, fucking Eternal. So my number 5 is The Eternals. Don't watch it. You'll fucking fall asleep. It's a bad movie. Hey, Saba, how are you doing? So, we're currently doing my top 10 worst movies of 2021. So, my number 5 was Eternals. My number 4, Jesus Christ, another IP people are destroying. Now, look, me and G.I. Joe have a very strange history, okay? I hate the first G.I. Joe. I like the second one. I love the second one. Snake Eyes is a fucking terrible movie. Snake Eyes does not work as a G.I. Joe movie. It does not work as a Snake Eyes movie. It does not work as an action movie. The action scenes in this are fucking atrocious. They're all a bunch of quick cuts. Clearly, the actors did not know martial arts. Why the fuck would you make a Snake Eyes movie and the actor can't do martial arts? Why? There is tons of Asian actors who know how to do martial arts. Why the fuck would you employ the one guy who can't fucking do the action scenes? Why? The CGI is fucking atrocious. The story makes no goddamn sense. Snake Eyes is fucking hunting these people. He fucking betrays them. And the bad guy in this film is not actually the bad guy because Snake Eyes does something that fucks them over that makes the bad guy do what he does. So Snake Eyes isn't even the fucking good guy in this movie. I do not understand what the fuck the concept of this film was. I don't know what they were trying to achieve, but it's horrible. It fails. Snake Eyes is atrocious. I almost walked out halfway through this movie. As a Joe fan, I died a little bit. Yeah, but Snake Eyes is a terrible fucking film. It's too long. The story doesn't make sense. There's not enough violence for it to be cool when you're talking about the underworld and the Yakuza. There's no fucking violence. It's PG-13 type kid shit. Like there's nothing that says, oh, this is a risky criminal underworld and someone could die at any moment. It was a fucking terrible idea. And please, this is another franchise that needs to die. Stop making G.I. Joe movies. No one fucking cares, okay? It's over. We had our good movie. Let it fucking go, all right? We had fucking Bruce Willis and The Rock and everybody else. I'm done, okay? I will never fucking watch another G.I. Joe movie. This movie tanked any chances of these movies doing good. This movie is fucking terrible. It's terrible. I hated it. So that's why Snake Eyes is my number 4. These are the movies that I will rant a lot because they're on a level of bad I can't describe. Oh, so Marvel 2 for 2. My number 3 worst movie of 2021 is Black Widow. What a fucking fuck up. Black Widow is a great example of what happens when you don't have a clear story in mind and when you make a movie that's 10 years too late. Black Widow, it pisses me off more because the first half of the movie is actually watchable. The rest of this movie is garbage. It makes no sense. The only good thing that we got out of Black Widow was Florence Pugh as Natasha Romanoff's sister. She was great. They fucking made they made the Red Guardian look like a dick, and to me, they wasted his character because he's supposed to be like a Soviet version of Captain America. I did not feel that. The ending is such a fucking letdown. The end of this movie is so fucking terrible. And what makes it worse is because the first half of the movie had potential. And then I don't know what the fuck happened at the end of this movie. It's like someone said, "Ooh, Harvey Weinstein's such a bad guy. Let's make a bad guy just like him." And there's no fucking setup to this character. He literally comes in for the last 5 minutes, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? I mean, we followed Taskmaster. Why would you make this random guy, nobody we haven't seen in all of Marvel, all of a sudden the bad guy? Oh, I know, because rich white guys are bad. It's fucking stupid. It's stupid. This was the worst use of Black Widow. And Black Widow again gets fucked over because no one acknowledged her death because Tony died, and that was a big thing. So she got fucked over with getting any fucking recognition besides from Hawkeye that she died. And she was the one who kept the Avengers together when everyone got snapped away. This movie is a gigantic fucking waste. Black Widow really pissed me off, and it pissed me off more than probably the Eternals because the Eternals I knew was going to suck, but Black Widow had potential for a good hour of the movie. How do you fuck up the last hour of your movie, Marvel? How? How does that happen? I don't I don't under I I don't understand it. It was such a fucking stupid concept. It was a stupid villain. It was so poorly done. I'd really like to know who was in the room when this last hour of this film was pitched, because I would have liked to smack them upside the fucking head for thinking it was a good idea. This movie shits the bed, and it does the one unforgivable sin. It fucks up the ending of the movie, which screws up the whole entire film. So, yes, the Red Room should have been found instantly. It's against a fucking building in the sky. Why the fuck hasn't anyone found it? Especially Tony Stark. Yeah, that's just one of the many inconsistencies in this movie. And I know some people have fucking defended this film, and I'm sorry. You're wrong. This movie is terrible. This movie is worse than the Eternals because at least with the Eternals, I didn't have very high expectations, but with Black Widow, I was going in giving it a fair chance, and it let me down. This movie was terrible, and it deserves to be at my number 3 because it made me angry. I it's another movie that I'm glad I didn't see in theaters because I would have walked the fuck out. I was so mad when and everybody's telling me, "Oh, you got to watch it." Blah, 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 blah. No, don't watch Black Widow. You'll wind up hating Black Widow, which is a shame. This movie was a terrible cash grab, and Disney, you should be a fucking ashamed of yourself because that's 2 movies you just fucking shit out there just because. It's fucking horrible corporate greed. This movie is fucking terrible. I hated it. Now, my number 2 should be no surprise. My number 2 worst movie of 2021 is Space Jam. Holy fuck, where do I start with this piece of shit? So, Space Jam. What's the concept of the basketball-based movie that's literally named Space Jam? The concept is, instead of playing a basketball game, they're playing a fucking video game. Why? Don Cheadle is horribly miscast in this role. LeBron James is the worst fucking actor I have ever seen in my life. The people who transition into acting. He is fucking terrible. LeBron's pissed me off every time he was in a scene. I wanted to throw fucking popcorn at my home screen because I wouldn't see this piece of shit in the movies. This is a bad fucking movie on every fucking level. This movie was like with Eternals in it, Eternals almost got my number 2, but I realized Space Jam is worse because Space Jam does the one thing that all of these movies do, and it doesn't even try to hide this. This movie is a giant fucking promotional. That's all this movie is. It has no heart, it has no soul, it has no funny jokes, it has no touching moments, it has nothing positive to say. This movie is a fucking piece of shit. This movie spits on the face of everything that made Space Jam a good film. And look, people are very nostalgic. Space Jam was never a great movie, okay? Space Jam was an entertaining movie, but Michael Jordan had heart. There was a purpose behind the story of Space Jam, and it was very emotional at the end of the film. And it was doing what you love to do and doing what you were good at, and how you lose that passion when someone dies or when you lose someone or when you get old, and recapturing that. LeBron James is a fucking asshole in this movie. He's an asshole father. He is a piece of shit in this film. And it is so bad that I really wanted the kid to beat him. And then the kid becomes obnoxious, so there's nobody to fucking root for. The tunes are terrible. They shit all over them. Bugs Bunny is not even a fucking factor. He's treated as a third wheel. Porky Pig does a battle rap. Porky Pig does a battle rap for points in this fucking game that makes no sense. I did not know how the scoring goes because it's not a fucking basketball game. I had no clue what was going on. No clue. They go to a world to get superheroes and they don't get Superman. Why? They just like, that was probably the funniest line, because Daffy Duck's supposed to talk to Superman, and Superman does this like, what do you want? And he goes, forget it. Like, that was kind of funny, but this movie was terrible. The jokes were awful. The rap was cringe. The fucking line delivery was cringe. The bad guys were fucking ridiculous and overpowered. Don Cheadle was ridiculous. The movie had no fucking message except for a simplistic, like, oh, my son wants to go to computer camp, but I want him to be a basketball because I'm fucking LeBron James and basketball. And nothing comes of it. It makes no sense. I don't know what the fuck the message of the story is. I have no idea. And I've only watched this piece of shit once, so I'll never overanalyze it. But this movie is fucking bad. It is fucking terrible. It is a ridiculous fucking cash grab. All of the fucking Warner property is in the final matchup. And they have a Clockwork Orange in there. What does that have to do with what the fuck does Pennywise and Batman have to do with fucking basketball? Why are they in there? And the people in the background look like terrible cosplayers. It is fucking disgusting. The whole thing was just a clear fucking way for Warner Bros. To highlight all of its IPs to a young audience that they thought they were going to get. And the fucking sad part is this movie made money. Please, Warner Bros., stop putting this shit out. Do not make a Space Jam fucking 3. Nobody asked for this one. Fuck you. How are you doing, Justin? I'm in the middle of ranting on my number 2, which was Space Jam. It's so fucking terrible. I'm going off right now.
Oh, no, it's okay. The first one was just as bad.
Yeah, that's what I said. The first one isn't a masterpiece, but here's the difference. The first one at least had heart and a message behind it. This one, LeBron James is a piece of shit. He is a shitty father. And as a father, I was watching this and I was saying, dude, if I talk to my daughter like the way he talks to his son in this movie, and they said, hey, bro, you're being a piece of shit, I would deserve it. He is such a fucking shitty person, and I don't think he was acting. I think that's how he is in real life, and they just fucking turned on the camera because he is so fucking obnoxious, and his face is so fucking punchable in this movie. I can't even put to you how fucking annoying his fucking face in this film. Dude, I watched this at home, and I was ready to turn it off and walk the fuck away from my TV. I was so pissed. This movie is fucking atrocious. This movie, not that Space Jam had this great legacy like most franchises that we love, but this really does take a big shit on any potential that Space Jam had to maybe making an improvement, updating it for the new audience. It shits all over that. This is a fucking colossal fucking bend people over for spending their money and fucking rail them. This movie is fucking terrible.
There are a lot of things and a lot of people that have come out of our state of Ohio that we're very proud of. Steven Spielberg, the Russo brothers. That's about it.
Let me go to this
But
super chat
then we
real-
have fucking LeBron who comes out and he's fucking great. Then he goes to the Miami Heat and we all hate him. Then he comes back and wins us some championships, so we love him again, but realize that we're also stuck with Kyrie Irving. And then we're like, well, if Kyrie Irving leaves and LeBron leaves too, well, you know what? At least he had a good stay. And then we get this shit. And he moved to LA for the movie business. That's about it. Just like Barack Obama got into the White House just to get into the movie business. Like I'm serious. They started their own production company, which has gone nowhere, which is fucking ridiculous. I can't even believe it. And the fact that, like, I get it that you would make another Space Jam with LeBron because Kobe's no longer answering his calls. That's understandable. It would have been done with Kobe, but at least Kobe, even if he was approached with it at the time, he wouldn't have done it because he has integrity.
Oh, LeBron's has none of that. Super chat from Mega Jetty 1 says Michael Jordan has a character in Space Jam. He didn't want to play basketball.
Character. He doesn't have a character. He's not playing a character. He is, like, his character is him, and also he plays baseball, which is kind of funny. But yeah. He has character. That's what he's trying to say. I'm sorry you were reading his chat.
But yeah, this was my number 2. So I'm going to go down my list and just read you off the first movies you missed. So my number 10 was The Matrix. I'm sure I don't need to explain to you why.
No, and I'm not going to see that.
Yeah, don't waste your time. Number 9 was The Forever Purge. I was
not surprising.
I was personally offended by this movie. It takes the shit off.
Even after election year?
This was worse. This made election year seem like a choir boy compared to the messaging in here.
No,
like if you are a white male,
I had to clean up the movie theater for that shit.
If you are a white male, you will walk out thinking you are the worst human being in existence. Like this movie is just all message and
blame
no
the whole
movie
thing on white people.
Oh yeah, it's bad. It takes place at the Mexican border. And the big twist is that it's ISIS agents who want to do a forever purge. It is fucking I was genuinely offended. I don't get offended by movies, but it solely was made for me to feel like it would have been higher up except for the winners that I got in my top 5. So number 9 was The Forever Purge. Number 8 was Chaos Walking. I don't know if you know the production behind Chaos Walking, but Ridley Scott is fucking terrible. Tom Holland is fucking terrible. Mads Mikkelsen was the only good part of the movie, and
Tom Holland's bad in this?
He didn't have much to work with.
No.
The story is very uneven.
That's what happens when you grow up in the MCU.
Yeah, it was a very, very terrible movie. My number 7 was West Side Story. I fucking
well,
you knew it was going to be on here.
We can't understand half the shit that's going on.
Yeah.
If there was any plot, I wouldn't know about it. Do they sing the songs in Spanish?
The Spanish side does, yeah.
Oh.
I brought so let me tell you this
there's
story.
nothing wrong with that, but it's just like Jesus Christ, just Steven.
let me
Come
tell you the story
on.
behind
Why are
this.
you shit? Why, Ohio people? Why have you fallen from grace so quickly?
Let me
Ugh.
tell you the story behind this. I brought my mom, who's 100% Puerto Rican, uh, to this movie, and she was angry, and she speaks Spanish. She was angry because she didn't
Was she
want to
swearing in
translate.
Spanish at the end of it?
She didn't want to. She was angry because she like understood what was going on, and she's like, and then she's like trying. It's been a while since she spoke, so she had to sit there and translate what they were saying to me, so I could understand what they were saying. She was very fucking offended. I'm like, Mom, it's not just me, right? And she goes, No. She goes, That was terrible. I can't believe somebody would do that. She goes, like, what about other places? And I go, that's my point exactly. I go, I don't know how the fuck they released it in like Norway and shit like that, but good fucking luck if you live in
I
another
think
country.
Steven Spielberg had a George Lucas moment where he was surrounded by yes men, as he usually is, but usually he has great ideas. But this time, people were just happy to be a part of a Steven Spielberg movie. And if they even questioned him, they would have been fired and never worked in that town again. That's what Steven Spielberg has become. Because otherwise, that was not going to be made. Anybody was just like, why would you do that? Did you consider like other regions? I don't think anybody at this point is brave enough to stand up to Steven Spielberg at this point because he's Steven Spielberg and will not listen to anybody. I don't think he will. He's above everybody else. He is probably the most powerful man in Hollywood, bar none.
Yeah,
No one
yeah,
else can even, I'm sorry, name any other name.
but let
Not
me get
even
through
not
my
even
other
Bob
ones
Iger,
for
because
a
he doesn't
second
work with
before
Disney.
we.
He just doesn't associate with Disney. So that, it's like no one can even tell him no. And that's what's scary about that. George Lucas had that power, and at least he had something, but again, it's so disappointing.
And now, number 6 was a movie you probably never even heard of. That's how terrible this movie is, and a very offensive movie to the black community. And me as a white guy saying that is pretty fucking bad. It's a movie
Oh
called.
yeah, because you're a racist.
It's a
I'm
movie
kidding. No.
called Gully. It stars Amber Heard, so you already know where I'm going.
No, I
This
heard of
movie
this.
this movie is so fucking they make it they have this black cast, and their
Mhm.
reason, they go basically on a murder spree and they kill a bunch of people.
Yeah, I
And
heard about that part. I just like
and their reasoning was because it's life is so tough and blah blah blah. It was so gross proper. I felt like after watching it, and keep in mind, I got this from a Russian friend. Um, this was so gross that after I downloaded it, I wiped my hard drive. I went to take a shower and wrap up in a comfort blanket because this movie made me feel dirty for watching it. Like, this is
you
truly
wiped
like
your
when they
entire hard drive for that.
like this is
all
one of
those
those
all those terabytes of horse porn are now gone.
like this is a
Too
movie.
bad.
This is a movie where I felt like if the FBI ever raided my computer, I would go to jail for having this film on there because it would be like, oh, he's got to be part
See,
of one of them Nazi groups.
see, when I heard about this movie, all I heard was it's offensive and people die.
It
I'm
was
like, that sounds great.
it was so fucking offensive.
I couldn't last like
It was
a couple
offensive to
minutes,
black people. It
like
was offensive
maybe.
to white people. They kill a fucking mother and a child in it. No reason to show that. They show it in graphic detail. The scene where they massacre people is so fucking brutal. And look, I'm going to see Scream 5. I'm super fucking excited. I got my advance tickets for
I'm
tomorrow.
not going to be able to see it until this weekend, but I have a very, very, very bad feeling about it. Well,
No, I've heard from
not. I've
every
heard great things, but I'm like,
single.
my heart is. I feel like my heart is going to hurt. I feel like my heart is really, really gonna hurt.
Oh, I heard that if you're a Scream
No,
fan,
no,
there'll
no, no,
be
no, 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 no,
tears.
no, no. I don't want
That's
to
what
hear anything. I don't want to hear anything else. I have a feeling. I have a feeling, and I don't want it to be true.
So
We already lost Randy.
so
I don't want
here's,
anyone else to go. I really don't, because I really do love these movies, and I love these characters so much. Man,
So,
and even Wes Craven said, it was a mistake to kill off Randy. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it was, you fucking idiot.
But I will give him one thing.
Ugh.
Rewatching that movie again, it is shocking even to this day. I rewatched Scream 2, and just the way it happened too, because it was so fucking. I remember being in the theater watching that scene because he just fucking grabs him and pulls him into the newsvan, and I was like, "Oh my god, no, not Randy!
Well, no,
not Randy!"
Well, the consensus with, I guess, a lot of Scream fans is that it's not that you killed off our favorite character, because that character was the voice of the audience, and it
Yep.
seems like you silenced the audience, and that's kind of, in a way, kind of offensive. It's
But
like,
remember,
you know,
too,
if
we
you
were
would
doing
have
this in
killed
the
off
90s.
Dewey instead, that would have been like, okay, he dies again, because he was supposed to die in the first movie. But, you know, now after seeing, you know, Dewey and Gale, I kind of would have liked to have seen, you know, Sydney and Randy, you know, develop their relationships, like the four of
That would
them,
have been
instead
an
of
interesting one.
yeah, that would have been great to explore. But then, you know, Kevin Williamson decided to, you know, be like X and just destroy all that. I'm like, oh, Kevin, why?
Okay, so my number 5
Yes.
of the worst movies of 2021, and you knew this was going to come up, The Eternals. I fucking hate this movie. And you know what I really hate? I hate people trying to defend this movie because it's a Marvel movie. This movie is fucking terrible. The pacing is bad. The characters are bad. The story is bad. It's
Took an
very
hour to get to
disconnected.
Kumail Nanjiani.
I
An
think he's a
hour to
piece of
get to his backstory. We have to
well,
have a
I think he's a
backstory.
piece of
Like,
shit, and I don't like him. But
no, he's not a piece of shit. He's
no,
a very
I mean
nice
as
guy.
a person, I hate
He
him.
was nice to me. That's all I'll say.
I've hated some statements he's said that has to do with specific people, but I
Okay.
won't get it. I'll get into a long-winded thing if I get into my gripe with him.
Please,
But anyways,
please don't. I just that was the only selling point of the movie, and then now you're about to ruin it. Okay.
but no, but I will say in this movie, that was my problem too. He was probably the only character I could tolerate, and he fucks off at the end of the movie. Like every
I'd
choice
even
in
make
this
it.
film was terrible. The fight scenes were boring. The setup was too long. They introduced way too many fucking characters at once. Every choice in this film was fucking terrible. I hate this movie. This is the kind of movie where if you put a gun to my head, I'd rather you take my life than ever have to fucking watch this movie again. I fucking hate it. It's awful. And that's why it's my number 5. My number 4.
I'll just say, gun to my head, I'll just watch the movie again.
No, just put me out of my fucking misery. I will never do it again. Dude, I needed fucking 3 Red Bulls to stay awake for this fucking movie, and I slammed them one after the other, and I was still fucking falling asleep. This movie was.
You know what? I'm sorry. Gun to my head, I'll
torture.
watch any movie.
No,
I
there's
don't.
some movies
I
where
don't
you
care.
think
I don't
kill
care
me.
unless it's like over 24 hours long. I'm like, all right, just kill me then. And if it's like 24 hours of bad shit, I don't know.
Bianca Zombies. Hola, dude. What's up?
Bianca Zombie. Is that you related
I
to
say
Rob Zombie?
zombies.
Because
No.
Rob Zombie, yeah, that's his legal last name is Zombie. You know that, right?
Yeah, I knew that. He's fucking crazy.
No, it's not. I was bullshitting.
I would have believed you.
Okay, so what's number 4?
My number 4 is Snake Eyes. As a G.I.
Is that
Joe
the G.I.
fan,
Joe?
yes.
Mhm.
As a G.I. Joe fan, this movie fucking hurt my soul. They picked an Asian actor.
Okay, so
Probably-
wait, hold on. Let me get this clear. Because I didn't grow up with G.I. Joes. The only G.I. Joe that I had, it was technically a G.I. Joe. It was an Indiana Jones G.I. Joe. And when I was a kid, I got into my sister's like Barbie house and shit. And like I pretended that all the Barbies were Nazis and had Indiana Jones like kill them all and rip off all their heads when I was a kid. That was about all the experience that I had, but I didn't even know what I have no idea what the lore of G.I. Joe is. I thought they were just a bunch of action figures that were just kind of cool, that were supposed to, replicate like, Arnold and Sylvester Stallone and shit like that. So what is it?
So
I guess.
basically, Snake Eyes is supposed to be like the assassin kind of dark past kind of a thing. So this movie is supposed to set up his background, which
Ignoring everything I just said.
So this movie is supposed to set up his background. The problem is they have him in the world of the Yakuza, and it's a PG-13 movie. So no one fucking really dies. And when they do kill someone, it's fucking off screen. So my first complaint was, how the fuck are you going to do a movie in the criminal underworld where criminal shit isn't happening? My second problem is they picked the only fucking Asian actor in the world who apparently can't do kung fu or any type of martial arts because they have to fucking cut away from him. So there's a bunch of fucking quick cuts where you cannot fucking see. I swear to God, just in any fight where it was just like him cornered or something, you could not see it because they did the shit that they did in Iron Fist, and they fucking quick cut the shit out of this movie. So every time someone throws a punch, the fucking camera tilts to the other person, and they've swapped the angle out. And it is so jarring, and it takes you out of the movie because you can't make out what the fuck is going on. And it's this way throughout the whole fucking movie. My other problem is the story. They make Snake Eyes a fucking asshole. And the villain, who's supposed to be the big bad, actually is doing all of the shit directly because of what Snake Eyes does. The villain is Shadow Wolf. And the reason why he does what he does is directly tied into what Snake Eyes does. And actually, Snake Eyes is sent in to steal something. And then because of him, they bring the fucking bad guys to the place, and they still call him a fucking hero at the end of the movie. And it's like, no, he's not a hero. Literally, if he did not come to this fucking village, none of this shit would have happened. It was such a poor setup. It was poor execution. The fucking bike stunt scenes looked like shit. This whole movie was so terribly edited. It made me want to throw up. This movie is a bad fight, like kung fu movie. It is one of the worst I've seen, and it hurt my soul as a G.I. Joe fan. They did Snake Eyes dirty, and we'll probably never get another G.I. Joe movie because this one was so fucking bad. Like, I think the take for this was like not even a third of the budget that it cost to make the film. So this movie lost like 132 million.
And this is the follow up to the Rock G.I.
Yes,
Joe, which is the follow up to the Channing Tatum one, which the Channing Tatum one people liked.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings. I hated number one. I love number two. Snake Eyes can burn in hell. So that's kind of like
okay. So G.I. Joe 1, G.I. Joe 2, G.I. Joe 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Basically down in the ground. So
I'm stealing that from a Ralph Macchio kind of thing, like where his kids said Karate Kid Part 1, Karate Kid Part 2, Karate Kid Part 3. Which we will talk about at some point, but I got a funeral to go to this Friday. So like
by the way,
no, it's okay. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but we will talk about it either on your channel or mine next week, if that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm down with that. Yeah. By the way, why did you send me a link?
Oh, just so I like rifting back and forth, so I could say something.
Okay. I'm sorry if I got it a little late, but
no, that's okay. My number two, which you came in for, My number 2.
We're just anticipating the number 1. This was all just a buildup. You know, your anticipation, guys. We were. I just came in late, so then you can just wonder and just think like, oh my god, what is General Zod's number 1 choice for the worst movie of 2021? Hey, let's interrupt it for like 30 minutes with a random asshole who comes in a fucking pineapple shirt. Let's just wait a little bit, just to impede your suspension. Just like you are just on the edge of your seats, wanting for this answer. Like, what is Zod's number 1 movie? And then I come in and I'm like, hey guys.
Speaking of which, Planet Q's Queen, she says, "Hi, you fucking villain." Hey,
is he
talking?
Okay, so I was about to say, like, is he talking to you or me? But tagged you, so I'm off the hook.
So my number 2 was Space Jam, and you kind of came in during this rant. Space Jam is a terrible fucking movie in every way. It's a cash grab. It's a soulless fucking marketing ploy.
We're talking about the first one, right?
No, I'm talking about
no, because everything that you're saying is the first one.
Well, I mean,
no, go ahead. Say your critiques of the second one, and I'll just say that's for the first one.
Like the fucking thing isn't a basketball game, which confused me. It was a computer simulator, which I thought was fucking dumb. Don Cheadle is
okay. So it definitely wasn't a computer simulator, but it was Michael Jordan interacting with a bunch of Looney Tunes, and he was like,
yeah, but
he was so confused at the time. So like his terrible acting is like kind of like him being confused.
Not only to mention too, but at least I understood the rules of the first one. This one, they basically towards the end of this movie just make up rules, and it just turns into a free-for-all. And as an audience member, you're watching and you're confused because the setup is they're going to play a basketball game, but then they add style points, and then there's a fucking rap battle. It's a
rap battle in the basketball game.
Porky Pig.
Porky Pig?
Porky Pig does a rap battle.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What, do epic rap battles of history come into?
No, it would have been better.
Are there pointless, other celebrity cameos aside from LeBron?
They have, Justin, they have a fucking Clockwork Orange in the fucking audience.
That's brilliant.
Why?
I love it.
That's fucking stupid. I'm
no,
sorry,
that's
I can't
great.
say the other
that's
word
great.
I was thinking.
That's great.
It's
I love it.
No, it's dumb. It's poorly done, and they don't even look good. They don't look like the original with Malcolm McDowell. It looks like a bad cosplayer. All of the costumes look shitty.
So
yes,
they're not even like a photocopy because like technology, like they're just like random people who are like.
Some of them are CGI
like,
generated,
is that it?
And then some of them are fucking people dressed up like the property. It is fucking terrible.
Then
it looks like
Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, it was bad.
Wait. Was Speedy Gonzalez even in it? Because I thought he was a. Okay, so they cut out Speedy Gonzalez and put in a Clockwork Orange.
No, those were just random properties they threw in to cheer for the crowd.
So they take out Speedy Gonzalez, put in a Clockwork Orange.
No, the basketball team just had.
It's not it's not a no thing. No, you can't take out Speedy Gonzalez and throw the characters of a Clockwork Orange. That's just no. Did you even watch a Clockwork Orange, Warner Brothers? You made the fucking movie, didn't you? Or like, I don't even fucking know. Like, why? Why?
Pennywise in the crowd. It was so. Crazy.
Okay. Pennywise is funny. Clockwork Orange. No, that's not fucking funny. Have you seen? You've seen the movie, right?
Oh yeah.
That's not fucking funny.
No,
I mean
nothing about that movie is funny.
It's.
But think about this, Cropper. they put all this shit in here, and this movie is marketed towards kids.
Yeah, so what are kids gonna think about Speedy Gonzalez exactly? What, you took out the
Alzheimer's?
Latinx representation? Fuck you.
I
I
know
think
I'm only on number
actually
2. I'm
gonna-
getting to. Okay, do you want to come in for number 1 because you're appropriately ready with your mean face and everything, and I think you would add to it because yes, because you have a personal stake in in my number 1 hated movie. Because
Do I? Oh,
They didn't hear me.
come on over
No,
here.
I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
no,
Okay.
it's because I'm here. I'm sorry. I'll leave if
No, we were talking. I thought people could hear the number 1. Okay, so the number
please.
1.
No,
involved-
please, please,
number
bitch
1
unicorn.
The number
Okay,
1.
she said no. Never mind.
The number 1 involves me and my beautiful woman who's here off to the side, but she might get too mad. Now, this is our number 1 together because we both sat through this, and I said this will be fun. Maybe this movie will be so bad we'll be able to shit on it. This movie, didn't we almost stop watching it at like?
It was the intro. Okay.
Okay, so Bitchy's gonna come here and explain to you. We have a special guest for the number 1 worst movie.
No, here's the thing. I couldn't even get through the first 2 minutes because it's the fucking bird singing whatever. It's like, okay, that's it.
Okay, so
There's a
do you
bird
wanna
that
announce
sings.
what
What
the-
even happened next? I was so pissed off.
Okay, a bird is singing. I'm sorry,
Birds.
birds can't sing.
It was just an annoying song.
No, he hasn't heard what the number 1 is because he just
Wait.
came in and ranted.
Wait, what is it? By the way, hello, bitchy
go ahead.
unicorn. I think this is the first time we've actually said hello. Hi.
Hey. Oh, I want your poster, by the way.
Which one?
The AC/DC.
Oh, all right. Well,
Give me.
all right. You guys want to make a road trip?
I totally would. So our number
Yeah.
1 worst movie of 2021, and this
Oh,
was a
you
joint
didn't
effort.
you didn't even say it yet.
The number 1 worst movie is Tom and Jerry. This movie is so fucking atrocious. The fact that this piece of shit made money baffled me and Bitchy. This movie, we both agreed. When I was making this list, he said, honey, if you don't put Tom and Jerry on there, this is not a real worst of 2021. This movie is a fucking travesty. This movie should never have been made. It is one of the worst live action adaptations. Is this not like the worst live action besides Lion King that we've seen? This was bad. This was a fucking bad movie. So go ahead with the singing
Jerry.
birds and everything.
No,
Okay,
that's-
now the singing bird kind of makes sense. Oh God, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
I haven't watched the movie in a while because
We've only ever watched it once, and we'll never fucking watch it again. I can tell you that.
I was
heard that
pissed
movie
off
was
right
so
at the-
bad.
like with the intro with the fucking bird singing to an annoying song, and it's like, oh, I completely just saw red.
She was just off in the
So
intro.
red.
I gave it a chance. She goes, "Oh no, fuck this
Oh.
movie."
Yeah, I just and like they always give Tom shit, but they made all the characters unlikable. You're supposed to like be on the woman's side, but she's a bitch.
Yeah,
she
the
completely
main character.
stole this person's resume.
Oh yeah, that's right. The main character, our hero we follow,
Oh,
who's
that's
supposed to be a role
It's
model
a
to
piece
kids.
of shit.
She steals a woman's resume in the beginning of the movie and pretends to be the woman to get a job. So this is what they're telling kids. Kids, go out there, steal someone's fucking resume, pretend you're the person,
Wasn't-
and get a fucking
Wait,
job.
Wasn't Michael
Well, that-
Pena's character like the only one who like
Yeah,
made
he
sense?
was supposed to be the bad guy,
But
and
he's the only one who's
one-
like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. This
Yeah.
shouldn't be happening. I'm like,
and they
yes!
treat him like shit. They make him look like an asshole.
yes.
And I'm like, How is he the bad guy? He's literally saying everything we're yelling at the screen about. She stole somebody's job. She's unqualified. And Micah Pena brings it up and they're like, oh, you're just so jealous, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, he fucking owns a hotel. What the fuck is happening right now? Jerry's a dick.
For no reason.
For no reason. Tom is actually a victim in this. Like,
he's always the victim. Like,
no,
no,
okay, don't get
he's
crazy.
a victim a lot of the time. I hate fucking Jerry. Jerry's a little.
He has a
fucking
lot of things coming to him, so.
But this time.
But Jerry's literally a dick.
But this time, this time, Jerry's a fucking dick. Like, Tom is just there. He just moved to New York. He's
like,
trying
I'm
to
gonna fuck him up.
he's trying to get money, you know, and he works hard with his little fucking banjo.
That's right. No, he was playing a piano.
Yeah.
He was on a piano just doing his own thing, and Jerry's like, I'm gonna fuck his shit up. And
Yeah, and
he steals his thunder by like dancing or something.
Yeah, and then taking the fucking tip jar that Jerry had or Tom had and putting it towards him. And it's like this little motherfucker just stole his money.
So he did this he started this whole shit show. And then I think by the end of it, like, they try to get along, but nope, he just has to start shit up again, and they go chasing themselves off, and so it never ends.
Oh, yeah, and what about the fucking married couple? This is the worst couple in the history of fucking couples.
There's a married couple.
The dude brought
fiance.
He buys his fiance a fucking drone and then decides they're gonna have elephants because they're Indian.
Didn't she want the elephants?
No, she didn't want the elephants. She said, "Why the fuck would you have elephants?"
You have the plate over here.
And then he decides too that not only is he gonna get elephants, but then he gets a fucking tiger and puts it in the middle of the elephants.
And
what guy does that?
I think they're all animated, aren't they?
Yeah, they do the elephants. No, those weren't animated, but
I don't remember.
Tiger was animated, and we were saying it made no sense.
They have a mixture of like cartoon animals and real animals, and so it's really confusing.
Yeah, they had the cartoon fucking peacocks, and then the real life elephants, and then a cartoon tiger.
Like, they wanted to split up their budget.
Somehow.
You know, guys, I'm trying to quit drinking, but it's not really.
Were we drinking?
Yes, we were drinking heavily, and it still wasn't good.
That's probably why.
No. What I was saying is, I'm trying to quit drinking, but based on what you're saying, oh Jesus!
Don't watch the movie unless you're going to drink.
Oh no!
Then at least the pain will be funny. This was just pain.
Oh yeah, this movie deserves to be my. This is and the thing that mystifies me, because I had to personally get bitchy because she suffered through me. I went and I told her that this movie was number 2. This is pandemic time. Now, you can't tell me the pandemic affects the box office when Tom and Jerry was number 2 for fucking 3 weeks.
What was your number 2 worst movie?
It was fuck, I have my list somewhere.
You guys see all the movies?
My number 2
together?
worst movie was we were just talking about it. Space Jam.
Oh, I haven't seen that, but
no, you would be just as angry.
The only thing I appreciate, like the only thing I like about that is like, okay, the CGI does look kind of cool. That's the only thing.
She gave it more credit. I thought the whole thing was shit.
See,
I was literally suffering.
It's the same thing with Tom and Jerry. The only thing that I can kind of like look at is look how much work they did with that animation. Like they really tried, and it's, you know, that's a huge step. That's the only thing. But they made it fucking suck. They wasted all that. It's like, because I was thinking, because I've always wanted to be in like movie shit, but it's like, what if I had to be in a piece of shit? Like, could I live with myself? I wouldn't want to be in a Tom and Jerry. I wouldn't want to work on that.
So, Planet Q Queen said, "What the fuck? You said last night it was West Side Story." Yeah, it was going to be until I thought about Tom and Jerry, and I realized that Tom and Jerry is worse because at least West Side Story is competently shot, and there's people who have good singing and choreographed. But Tom and Jerry is bad on it. I will literally never ever. If my child came and
We
held a
should
gun
have-
to my head.
We should have her watch it.
No, she's smart enough. She said she does not want to ever see that movie. She will probably literally cry if we put that on.
Wasn't I the one who made you watch it?
Yes,
Made
you
watch
were.
it?
I hate you. Why would you do that to me?
I didn't want to suffer alone.
That was such a terrible idea. I don't know why we thought that was a good idea. That was probably one of the worst ideas that we've had all year.
If you want to see a Tom and Jerry movie, see the Tom and Jerry the movie with the girl trying to run away from home and shit. That's the only one that I actually remember seeing that was really good. But this is just yeah, all I see is red. I'm trying to remember things and it's just it's not letting me.
At Mr. Zod's Phantom Zone, in this case, should there be a number one at all? I agree. I should have probably worked it backwards and had my number 10 as the worst.
What was your number 10?
All reached number 2.
What was your number 10?
My number 10 was The Matrix.
Oh.
Because it was so fucking disappointing.
I should just see your whole list. What's your list?
You know my handwriting. You're probably sitting on it.
Oh, is it this?
Oh, jeez. Yes.
On
Dear.
the receipts that you are terrible at hiding from me?
Yes.
Okay,
On the...
here. Oh, look, chicken scratch.
Oh, my goodness. See, this is why we can't have nice things.
Wait a minute. Why did you write that? That's a good movie.
No,
Oh, wait.
only the ending was.
Only the ending was. That's right.
That
Sucked.
it didn't go on my list because these are my honorable mentions. The one with the numbers are the one that went on the top 10. Like,
I haven't seen The Matrix. I've heard like the credits a bunch of times. I haven't seen West Side. I haven't seen Eternals. Don't Breathe 2.
yeah, that was on my.
That was a terrible one.
Yeah, they tried to make Chicken Baser guy into a hero. That was a very
Didn't people have problems with that? Like, didn't anyone have a problem with that?
Everybody did.
Okay,
That's why the movie's on the list.
I haven't seen like any of these. It's probably for the best.
Yeah, these were the movies I spared you from, and I was stupid enough to watch myself, except for this one. So this is why Tom and Jerry is the winner of 2021's worst movie. Or
Are you really winning if you're the worst?
Yeah.
Is it really winning? Is it really?
Congratulations to all of the people who created this piece of shit. You are the first ever to receive the worst ever movie of the year.
Okay, my job is done.
Yes.
I have a question.
Thank you, honey.
Did you ever? Oh, by the way, bye, bitchy unicorn. It was great
Bye.
talking to you. She's just gonna walk off and be like, "Fuck this guy."
I got really mad.
She absolutely, yeah. That's why
As soon as I appeared.
No. This movie. That's why this movie makes my number one, because when it can universally piss off everyone I ever show it to, you know it's a special kind of bad movie. This movie is so terrible that my 14-year-old daughter, I said to her, hey, there was nothing else out. And I said, hey, honey, out of curiosity, because I wanted to see what she was going to say. And I said, hey, you want to go see Tom and Jerry? And she goes, no, Dad, no, I don't want to see it. I go, okay. And she was like, I heard it was bad, and I don't care. I don't want to see it. And I was like, and this is a kid who went with me to see Crawl. She had no interest in seeing Tom and Jerry. So it should tell you, she had no interest in seeing the Eternals. She's got very good movie taste. I'll just, I'll put it that way. And yes.
Would you say
Annual Zod Worst Movie Awards? I should do it. Have you on? We can do jokes and co-hosts.
The annual Zod Awards, the AZAs. I like that. You should roll with
Perp
that.
gave me the worst YouTube channel 3 years in a row. So to fuck with him, I'll give him the best YouTube channel 3 years in a row. Because he'll be like, wait, what? I'll be like, yeah, because Zod works in reverse. You thought I was going to get revenge on you. But no, I'm going to take the high road.
No, you should take the high road and put the most adequate channel run by a black guy. I mean, 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. Oh, purpose, you know. It would be
We love
nice
you,
if you
Kurt.
heard
They'll
that
probably
as a
catch this
joke,
on the
but you
replay.
could also be like, you know, so get really pissed off at me. I don't care.
So
He has
Justin,
thick skin.
the reason why I invited you on, would you say, like, by your assessment, do you think that I've made some pretty stellar choices here?
I
and
was
what were-
surprised by the Tom and Jerry choice as number one because I heard about how shitty it was, but I didn't think it would be like the number one worst one because I kind of write off children's movies. But then again, you know what you reminded me of as you calling it as the worst one. It reminds me of what it reminds me of Siskel and Ebert because they took children's movies seriously as if they are cinema. It's like it's not just for children. It's just like, how is this movie in general? You know, how are people going to enjoy it? And it's very hard for adults to recommend children's movie because they are for children. But if it can be, and it's not even in the perception of can parents enjoy it as well as their kids. It's also like if there's a bad, like a really bad movie, you know, that's made for kids, it's like, oh, that's unbearable. But that's all what people think about when they think about kids movies. That's why every single movie achieves for the PG-13 rating. That's
and
basically what it is.
That's why I wanted to have you on here, because me and you look at movies differently, I'd say, than most YouTubers. And you get where I'm coming from. And like people say, oh, well, it's just a cartoon. But like you said, it is a piece of cinema. If you put an artistic property out there that's out in the world, it should be fairly critiqued as if it was a fucking Godfather, you know, on any end of the spectrum. Unless you're going from Academy Award to a fucking Disney. I've seen Disney movies that are better than half the fucking live action movies that we've gotten this year or last year. I can name off the top of my head great Disney films that would put them to shame, and they're cartoons. And so I don't think that, oh, you can't have a great movie that's a cartoon, just like you can't have a worse movie that's a cartoon, because at the end of the day, it's a piece of art. And if you're putting it out there, it should be able to be fairly critiqued like anything else. It is not subject to a shield just because it's a fucking cartoon, because you still got to go with your fucking kid to watch the movie. So as a parent, I think, as a matter of fact, I would say I would give more respect to a cartoon that could speak to both parents and children, because now you're talking about smart writing that transcends an age barrier.
But also you can't just gauge that area with just simply saying that making a couple of subtle adult jokes. That won't cut it. That'll just be like something funny for the little kids to grow up with and be like, oh, that was the adult joke. But like the adults already knew that at the time, with Scooby-Doo, and Matthew Lillard saying like, yeah, my name's Mary Jane's like, that's my favorite name. And all the adults are like, yeah. That was the only thing that they got. But like, it's still like not that great of a movie. But at the same time, you have to think about like, just because you give a few cookies to the adults for sitting through this movie with a child, that doesn't make it a good movie. What makes a good movie is something like, what's a good example? The Polar Express. That's even if you have that annoying kid that reminds everyone of me and like, hey man, like that guy, that you know who I'm talking about, right? Even though he's in the movie, like, I don't even know if you're listening at this point.
No, I get what you're saying, because you use Polar Express, but the first thing that comes to my mind is Toy Story. Toy
Yes,
Story has
that's a good one too. You are a toy. You know, it's yes.
It's like a Shrek. All of these movies
Shrek too. Yes.
they transcended just being a cartoon, and they found enjoyment in not just the kids and the adults. And what pissed me off the most about Tom and Jerry is that Tom and Jerry had that potential to be something in 2021 that could translate to both adult and kids, and they fuck it up every step of the way. And the biggest thing that upsets me is they go too far into the adult realm because they have a really unlikable protagonist. And I think what really messed me up was the fact that they tried to pass off this really terrible person. They give her like no way to redeem herself. Like she kind of does at the ending, but it's still kind of shallow. And so it sends a message to me as a parent, like this movie is saying my kid can treat people like shit, steal a fucking job application, forge their name, pretend they have experience, go through wacky shenanigans, and be forgiven. And it's trying to tell kids this is how the real world works, and it doesn't. I think it's a terrible message to give to a younger audience, and I think it's a terrible framing for adults who understand what's going on. So you fuck it up on both levels because you're teaching kids bad values, and adults are going to look at it and go, well, that's fucking ridiculous. That would never happen. And poor Michael Pena. It is sad that this man is actually the beacon of hope in a lot of these shitty movies, and his agent fucking hates him because they keep on throwing him into
Michael
these
Pena.
really terrible movies.
Now,
Like
are
he
you
had
are
that
you talking
fucking
about the same
Fantasy
Michael
Island
Pena who was in World Trade Center and literally carried that movie and was the best part about it, even surpassing your
Oh
favorite
no.
Nicolas
Okay,
Cage?
Nick Cage in that
No,
moment.
no,
where they're
no, no, no,
talking-
no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're not going to have this argument today, but I do think that Michael Pena sold the movie for me even better than Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage was amazing.
Okay, we're gonna have to.
But
We're
this
gonna
is
have to
the
fucking
first
fight
and
after this is
only
over.
instance of any Nicolas Cage movie that I think Michael Pena, like honestly, like upstaged him. I
No,
really
but I
do.
will
I
be
really
honest
do
with you.
believe that.
I will be honest with you. You know Michael Pena had an unfair advantage because he had the wife and the kid, and that's always going to win because when he's delivering those lines, you really feel it more because like of how he's saying he just wants to get back home to his family and all this shit, and
He had
and
more
then Nick
energy,
is
more to
playing
work
off
with,
that.
and then Nicolas Cage was just trapped under a bunch of rubble.
Yeah, but Nick was also like, "Don't worry, we're gonna get out of this." Like it was, I would say honestly, if they didn't have such a good back and forth on either side, it wouldn't sell the movie because Nick does have a good emotional back and forth with him. So I can't really say it's one person or another. I would say that if you didn't have them both in that film, it doesn't sell it because I can't remember any of the other characters in that movie. Can you? I can't remember anybody else in that cast.
Well, there was a guy who was in Hostel that survived the first one. He played an officer that survived the first impact, but then he was trying to help everybody, and then he got killed the second impact.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying though. The two standouts for me was Nick Cage and Michael Pena.
I think Michael Pena just, maybe it was because of the character, but I really think I think that was his movie. Like that's just how I feel. But again, can we please talk about this another day? Because like we're talking about other things, and I think we can go back and forth all day.
Oh yeah.
I think it would ruin the flow if we talk about like a 9/11 movie.
Yeah. So
that's just me though, but it's up to you. If you want to continue it, that's fine.
So that's basically it. My number one was definitely Tom and Jerry, and it was my number one because of the fact that it failed to do its job as not only a kids film but as a film marketed to a mass audience. It fails as an adult film to try to get adults interested, and it fails at a kids film because it doesn't do all of the things that it needs to do to be even funny with adult humor. So at the end of the day, more than the Eternals, more than even Space Jam, because as much as I hate that movie, there is a couple of funny parts. Tom and Jerry was just, it was a big letdown for me. And I knew from the moment, like you heard Bitchy go off. She knew from the opening song she was gonna fucking hate the movie. I at least gave it a little bit of a chance, but once, like, Jerry's my favorite character, and like, yeah, he could be a dick, but in the
Jerry?
cartoons, I felt like there was a little bit more of a reason, and he was a little bit more endearing. In this movie, they go too far the other way, and they make him an asshole, and that really pissed me off because Jerry's one of my favorite out of the duel. I can't stand cats. That's
Oh,
probably
so
why.
your frustration isn't necessarily that the movie was as bad as it was, as much as it was they didn't understand the characters that they were dealing with.
Oh yeah, this movie is bad on multiple levels. Uh, Justin, they didn't have a concept of who the characters were, and then they didn't try to make up for it by making a good story. So when you have it fail on so many levels, because it's like, okay, here's the thing: if you have a movie that can do good characters, but the story is shit, you can kind of get invested in the characters. If you have a movie where the characters are shit, like most horror movies, you can kind of get into the story, right? Because you don't care. They're going to all be fucking killed anyways. But when you have a movie that fails the characters, the story, and the humor, and it's supposed to be a fucking comedy, you have a real serious issue. Because if it's not funny and the characters aren't engaging and the story's not good, what the fuck am I watching it for? Why does it exist? What does it add to the IP?
Well, take it from a movie that's made for children. That's actually good. Movies are like onions. If it's a good, healthy red onion, it's gonna have, even to the core of it, you're gonna find good stuff. But if it's a rotten onion, all you are going to find is shit after shit after shit, and you may as well throw it in the dumpster because it's just going to cause a lot of health code violations.
That's a great analogy to leave off on. So anyways, those are my top 10 worst movies for 2021. I actually had people here in the chat and everybody else who requested, they go, "Hey Zod, what's your worst movies? Because we heard your best," and that caused a stir. Like with Pig, oh my god, I picked a fucking Nicolas Cage. Dude, the internet, like,
Oh no, you picked a Nicolas Cage movie?
yeah, I picked a.
Oh my gosh, I'm so shocked.
I said, "Have you been to my channel?" But no,
Is there a Nicolas? Okay, before we go off though, is there a Nicolas Cage movie? What's your least favorite? Because I know they're all your favorite, but what's your least favorite?
Ninjutsu.
Him in a starring role. Is that ninjutsu or whatever you said?
In ninjutsu, he wasn't really. He's a supporting.
No,
member,
him as the lead.
As the lead,
least favorite.
See, even his most terrible,
least
like the Wicker
favorite,
Man,
least favorite. Just say the least favorite. It's okay.
I gotta be honest. I'd really have to think about it because most of them, I just enjoy it because his performance makes it worth watching the movie, even if it's shit. Like I said,
so out of all of them, which did you like the least?
I'd have to say my least favorite Nicolas Cage performance would have to be Bad Lieutenant, because they tried to put him in the role of Harvey Keitel, and I don't think anybody could, and it's not Nick's fault. He really does try, but one, there's like way, and this is weird for me to say, but there's way too much sex, and there's like even a really like no, like, dude, it is
It's weird
bad.
for me to say. There's way too much.
Dude, there's way too much sex. There's way too much language. On a
I
serious
understand
note,
you're not one to like,
Yeah, I never
censor,
point this
that
out,
kind of
but
gratuity
seriously,
or
like,
not gratuity, but
I felt like
yeah,
I was
vulgarity.
watching a softcore porn that had some violence and language in it. That's how bad this fucking movie was. And on top of that, there is a really, really, even for me as a guy, there's a very offensive rape scene in the movie, which I thought was not needed whatsoever.
Oh, now I remember
mean,
the movie.
This movie is bad. This is probably the worst Nicolas Cage movie. I don't know what his agent was thinking, but they fucking hated him that day, and they picked the most this movie almost made me look at Nicolas Cage in a different light because he has to play a bad lieutenant, but he is such a fucking scumbag in this movie, and he does the most despicable things. And I think the difference between him and Harvey Keitel was in the version with Harvey Keitel, they gave him some humanity, so you kind of understood why he was doing what he did. But Nicolas Cage is like an 11. He's fucking coked up, doing all sorts of fucked up shit. I could not connect with his character. I felt that's another movie I only watched once, and I felt so fucking dirty. I had to take a shower. It is a bad movie, and I hope Nick never does anything like that again. Like, it is on the level of every Bruce Willis movie coming out. It's bad. It's bad. Just like the new Bruce Willis movies. Don't see those. They'll crush your soul. They're bad. Bruce Willis doesn't even act now. He just grunts, says fuck a bunch of times, and then cashes his paycheck.
And then says, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. And that's all you need.
No,
He doesn't even make those anymore.
No, he's done as an actor, but yeah.
Yeah, I only
have-
watched the first Die Hard, and that was it.
But I will say that is probably my only Nick Cage movie I don't like. Like, Bad Lieutenant is the only Nick Cage movie that will never be in my library. It's a very offensive movie. That's the best way I can describe it.
All right, guys, you've gotten the truth out. There is one Nicolas Cage movie that General Zod does not like.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Lemon Pie. Left Behind, I'm gonna be probably in the minority who say this, because Zod is a Christian, whatever. I fucking love that movie. I think it was grossly underrated. I think that there's a lot of unwanted hate. I thought Nicolas Cage did a great job because I've read the whole Left Behind series. I fucking am praying every day for a sequel. I think that the first half of the movie was kind of slow, which is what turned people off. But that second half is fucking phenomenal. And Nick Cage's performance as a pilot, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with people just disappearing, he did a great job. And fuck the critics, because they just don't understand the Cage, and they never will. He's a master at what he does. So, you know, what can I say? Janie Davis says, Mr. Zod's Phantom Zone. I didn't hear the title of this movie, but I'm guessing it's the snuff film one. No, that's 8mm, and that's actually a brilliant movie. 8mm to me.
8 million meter.
No, 8mm. To me, is Nicolas Cage version of Seven. It's a fucking brilliant movie, and that ending still haunts me to this day. I've watched 8mm twice, and it's only because the fucking ending disturbed me so much. And like, I'm like, no, Nick,
No,
like,
don't say anything. I actually want to watch that movie.
Oh, it's fucking great. If you like Seven, it's a lot like that.
I love Seven.
Oh yeah,
I liked it a lot more than 6.
It's like Seven. But
no, I'm sorry. I meant 6
industry.
Sense.
No, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. I had a really great time. Yeah, so my number one Worst movie of 2021, in case you didn't know, was Tom and Jerry. Don't see this movie. Don't take your children to see it.
Of all things. Oh my
Yes.
God.
And you know what's sad? This piece of shit movie might get a sequel because it made $100 million over its budget. I have no clue how this happened. Like, really, the pandemic did fuck up the box office because it was #1 for like the weekend and it was #2 for 3 weeks. I don't understand it. It's one of those movies that does
When
well
was
for
this
no apparent
released?
reason. Hold on, I'll look it up. I think it was in June or July of 2021.
Look, I don't have kids of my own, and I certainly am never gonna. I don't know. This is a weird one because my dad grew up with Tom and Jerry, and he's like, "Oh, these are cool things." You know, they're like battling each other. And then I watched it and I was like, "Oh, that's cool too." But I was also like kind of disturbed by some of them. You know, if you think about it. If you think
Lemon
about the
Pie
old
says
cartoons-
parents were probably tricked into bringing their kids. Yeah, yeah. The marketing, I'll give the marketing team one thing: they sold the trailer really fucking well. Because even when I watched the trailer, I said, "How bad could it be?" Had I have known,
You
had
said
I
how
have
bad could it
fucking
be?
known,
That was it. Whenever that
had
comes
I
in your
known how
mind, you
bad this movie
you
was.
never say yes, but you have to because you much like Siskel and Ebert. Oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this. I feel like you live and breathe movies.
I really do. Like you can
You
tell by
see
my top 10
every
list.
single movie you possibly can. You adore it. You cheer the movies that you love and you boo the movies that you hate like as vehemently as you can, and you don't give a fuck about what anybody else thinks. And the only thing that you're missing is a Disney sponsor. Number one. And two, the balls to say it in front of the actors.
Oh,
If you're
Nicolas
invited on the other shows, which on YouTube, I don't know if that can happen anymore. I don't know. I don't know.
Janie Davis, the one Nick Cage movie I hate was Bad Lieutenant. And mainly just because it's too much Cage in that one. Too far. He crossed from crazy Cage to holy fuck what's going on. Like coked out Cage is no fun. No fun. You would think coked out Cage would be fun, but no, he's scary. I never want to see coked out Cage again. My other gripe, as I said, was Harvey Keitel was the original Bad Lieutenant, and you can't go from Harvey Keitel and his brilliant performance to Nicolas Cage because they're two very different actors. And Harvey Keitel brought a vulnerability to the character. He made him kind of likable. So by the end of the movie, I'm just going to spoil it because probably no one's going to watch this, but
Wait, is
Harvey
this a
Keitel gets
sequel
killed
to
at the end of
Usual
Bad Lieutenant,
Suspects,
and he,
or
huh?
is this like I don't know what you're talking about. Like, is this a sequel to The Usual Suspects?
No, Bad Lieutenant is just about a bad cop who's a lieutenant, but
Who happens to be Harvey Keitel, which is the same.
yeah, who just happened to be in that. Yeah, it just happened to work out that way. But anyways,
okay.
At the ending, Harvey Keitel gets gunned down by his own people. He gets into a bunch of situations, and his corruption comes back, and there's justice, and I like that. In this one, Nicolas Cage is so over the top and does so many despicable things that by the end of the film, you actually really want him to be killed, and that wasn't really the message of the movie. The message was supposed to be how there's a very thin line between being a good cop, being a bad cop, and that sometimes you have to cross certain lines to get justice. This movie was just like, holy shit, this guy is out of control and he needs to be stopped. Like, there was no core message, and I think that's more on the director. Didn't understand the first movie. He just made like a grindhouse version of this movie, and it's sad because he had the right actor to do a remake, but he didn't have a good script. it was too much. There was too much sex. There was rape. There was brutal, like rapey violence. It was just over. It was too much. And this is from a person who absolutely loves Saw, and all those kinds of movies. And I literally had to fast forward some scenes because they were way too graphic, even for me. I
really
watched I
were.
Spit on Your Grave, and I still thought this was like too much. It was too much. And that was the only Nick Cage movie I won't ever watch again. It's too much. Too much. So yeah.
I need to see more movies that you because you worked at a movie theater. When did you work at what movie? Did you work at the same company, AMC?
No, Marcus.
Marcus, okay. Marcus Cinema.
Yep.
Okay.
So I work with the competitor.
Okay.
That makes a good back and forth though.
Yeah.
But yeah, just so you guys know, I do have my tickets. Hold on, I gotta show you something. Wait a second, because I'm not in my pants.
You're not in your
What, you think I do this with my pants on? Come on. Okay, so no sexy Zod shots. You only get that on my OnlyFans. Anyways, so,
I can't even look.
So let me show you guys.
No.
I got
Can't even look.
my ticket for Scream tomorrow at 8. I am so excited.
To the theater. Come on.
So yeah, I'm going to be now
Somewhere in West Virginia.
Now here's the thing. I'm going to be doing a non-spoiler, but I don't know if I could do a full stream because from how I understand it, I'm not going to be able to talk about this movie. At all.
Just
without like giving away
review
stuff. So
review it with spoilers and do it when you see it, but I'm not going to be able to see it until
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to do my spoiler review probably next week. So that way you have the whole weekend. You know what I mean? There's that weekend block for people to go out and see it. I'll probably put a reaction video tomorrow from the theater where I'll just give you like coming out of the theater, like what my initial thoughts are. I'm probably just going to film a short video, put it up, or maybe I'll do like, I don't know what them kids do on Twitter where I'm like, I'm outside the theater. Woo. Oh, and hold on, I'll show you guys the shirt that I brought for the event. I got myself. Hold on, where is it? Hopefully I don't appear on camera. All right, so I got a. Hold on. Glow in the dark ghost face. When the light hits this, apparently it will glow. So I'm gonna have that on while I watch the movie. Super excited. Make sure I keep my tickets in my fucking shirt. I'm gonna wear it tomorrow underneath my security shirt, so I could just take my security jacket off and have the Scream shirt on. They didn't have more merchandise. I was actually shocked because I was gonna like get a hat and like just be decked out, but I'm going to be wearing my Scream shirt and can't wait. So everybody come in, join me for that. It's going to be a non-spoiler, just thoughts. It's probably not even going to be like a whole stream. It'll just be a initial reaction to the movie and what I think of the film, and if I think that people who are fans of the franchise will like this movie or not, and if it's worth seeing. I know
Well,
I'm being
apparently, Jeremy Johns, well, obviously, he was able to watch the movie beforehand, and it's so interesting that what did he rank it as? It was
a good
no
time
alcohol required,
prior,
something
which
like
is a pretty
that.
good rating on his
Yeah, it was a very good rating. Yeah, but I'm more concerned about I really don't want the characters that I love to be killed, and I'm really worried that that's gonna happen. Like I'm terrified. Like it's. I know the trailers are if the marketing team is good, then God, it's just
The lovely Sherry says that's an awesome shirt. DJ Record Hound says cool
it
shirt.
really
Thank
is. It really is. But in all seriousness, I don't even know. I don't know if I'm prepared to see it. Just because, I mean, it might be one of the three that gets knocked off, and I don't know what's gonna happen. It's just kind of up in the air. And with the Scream franchise, unlike a lot of other franchises, um, slasher franchises, this one you care about everybody involved. You know, you're invested in them, and for a lot of people, you know, you've been invested for over 25 years. And
Oh yeah,
it's I can't even imagine, like, if something were to happen to like one of the big three. You know, it's just which should have been the big four, but we'll.
I gotta say, I like share your concerns. I think I'm gonna feel it more when I'm actually in the movie watching it. Like, you know, that feeling you get where you go, oh my God, you know, like as soon as they start introducing it, you're like, oh my God, this is like number 5.
I only have
one
one request. And by the way, I already got one of my 2 requests. The first one being, 5 cream, like Scream with like the 5 instead of the S. I'm just like, why didn't you just do that? I was considering making a whole video, but I don't think it would have been worth it. But it's just so. I'm just,
DJ Record Hound says, Justin, I understand. I don't want to see under the shirt either. Oops, did I say that out loud? I think he's talking about my shirt. My shirt. I think that's what he was talking about because I had my shirt on.
That was way back. Okay, you're catching up on the. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I like at one point almost 20 people watching this top 10 list, which I appreciate.
Woohoo!
I did not know these were going to be as popular as they were, but they're just my opinions. I think my best of really sparked a lot of conversation because they weren't what other people traditionally go for. And here on my channel, I'm just being truthful. Like, I'm never going to pick a movie just because it's Marvel or DC or because it's fandom. I really want to make choices because a movie deserves to be recognized and highlighted because it's a great piece of cinema. And look, all movies are subjective. I've watched top 10s. Some had some really weird movies as their number one worst or, in the top. And then some of mine weren't even on anybody's list, which means, wow, I watch a lot of fucking movies. And, I give my opinions. And at the end of the day, movie is all subjective. You guys can choose which ones you want to watch. I mean, there's me and Geekocidal Tendencies went back and forth on The Matrix. He liked it. Everybody's got different tastes. And I have gripes with movies because of different movies that may be inherent to me. And then some are just universally fucking bad. But at the end of the day,
like Space Jam.
I put this together as a celebration of movies, and you know, as a way to highlight what I love seeing. And my best and my worst, they both kind of work as a celebration. And I don't want to shit on the people who work hard to make the films. It's just, you know, I love movies and I want to share that with everybody else. So please like, click, subscribe, and all that. Justin, you got anything going on before we peace out of here?
Nope, not until next Thursday or next Thursday when it's when This Week in Bullshit finally comes back. But until then, maybe we'll have a stream where we talk about Cobra Kai finally.
Yes.
That would be amazing. I'm gonna have to watch it again because of how long it's been. But there's been so much that has happened in my life and everything. And did you already talk about it?
Yes, I did, but I would be down to talk about it with you because I know you and me have good banter with that, and we see different things that the other one wouldn't pick up. So I'd be interested to get your thoughts because I'm sure between the two of us, we got a lot of things we're going to disagree on, a lot of things we're going to agree on. And boy, that fucking ending still, I haven't gotten in depth.
The ending is
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think we'll have a good conversation because I think a lot of people, to me, especially with that show, I feel overrated it. So we'll get into all that. But everybody have a wonderful evening. Thank you for popping in, and definitely go check out Justin Proper's channel. You can also check him out on Twitter at the Justin Proper. Go check out anytime we post or tweet stuff. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys at the movies.